Hey guys, how's everyone doing? This is Nick from ForexNoobs.com with the daily analysis. Today is, I can't bring that up. I'm going to bring the chat up real quick because I forgot to put that on the screen as I usually do. I like having it on the screen, it's easier for me to see. So yeah, today is Tuesday the 26th of March 2019. Time is 10 AM here in the UK. You're looking at an AUDCAD daily chart. In today's analysis, we're going to be looking for price action setups across all these pairs here, or most of these pairs. When I say price action setups, I mean continuations, reversals, all that kind of stuff. It's been a slow 2 weeks with all the Brexit stuff going on. Hoping things pick up a little bit this week, but judging by the news we have upcoming, we might not get a lot of surprise movements this week, which is a good thing and a bad thing. It's a bad thing because those surprise movements usually end up leading to great trades. And there's just not that much news this week. At least not today, which we have absolutely... yesterday, which we had absolutely nothing. And today, which we have almost absolutely nothing. We have CB consumer confidence, which, can cause some movement. But generally speaking, it's not really going to affect us on timeframes above the 4-hour charts. Then tomorrow we have rate statement from New Zealand. That could be a market mover, but only for New Zealand, so not going to really affect us much. And then before the next webinar, we have, which is going to be 8 AM tomorrow, we have ECB President Draghi speaking. That could be a market mover for sure. So this one is one we want to watch out for in the next 24 hours. This is pretty much the only one that we really want to watch out for in the next 24 hours. And if you're trading the a New Zealand pair, obviously you want to watch out for the New Zealand rate statement, which can affect us. Anyway, let's take a look at the actual charts and we'll look for some setups. Got AUDCAD pushing towards resistance. It's not quite there yet, so there's not much to do right now, but once it hits that resistance area, there could be potential for a short from this area. I'm going to pull this down a little bit, actually. It's very close to it. This area, yeah, it should be adjusted down a little bit. It's very close to it. Let's see what happens when it pushes up into it. What I want to see is price pushing into the resistance area, price stalling here for a candle or two, even on lower time frames like the 12-hour or 8-hour. It doesn't have to be the daily. And then we can look for a reversal from there. So I'm going to mark this as a potential because it's already showing signs of stalling in this area here. It's already slowing down, which is a good sign. I'll mark it as a potential, but this one probably won't give us a trade until at least tomorrow because even on the 8-hour, it's going to take some time for price to push up to here, stall out. AUDJPY hit the bottom of its range and it's pulling back up. AUDJPY is in a pretty tight range right now. It's been in this range for quite some time. It's got one bounce from the top starting there, one bounce from the bottom there, second bounce from the top, second bounce from the bottom. So that's what I define as a range. 2 from the top, 2 from the bottom. It's also got a half bounce here from the bottom if you want to include that. So we could say 2.5 from the bottom and 2 from the top. And it's currently in a bounce from the bottom. So point is, this is a pretty cool range. I like ranges. They're usually easy trading. Let's see what happens when price hits the top of this range. We could get into a short there. So I'm going to mark this one too. It's not quite at the top of the range, but it could reach there by the end of today. Who knows? It looks like it's moving quite quickly. So I wouldn't be surprised if it hits that range by the end of the day. But it could also take a few days. You just never really know. I'll be looking for a potential short here on the 8-hour, 12-hour, daily, maybe even some of the lower time frames, maybe even the 6-hour. Let's just look and see what happens when it hits this resistance area. It is pushing up to it nicely, so I'm looking for shorts from the 79.50. AUD New Zealand, there's nothing much going on there. AUD USD, yeah, nothing much going on there, guys. CAD CHF, we're looking for a potential long here last week, but it just never happened. It just kept dropping down. CADJPY, somewhat interesting. It's in a downtrend. It's in an overall downtrend, but after this spike down in early Jan, yeah, actually, I'm not going to do anything with this. I was looking for a potential short continuation from this resistance area. This kind of setup is quite common when it breaks below resistance, or support rather. Support turns into resistance, price comes back up, touches that resistance and continues down. But I just don't see enough of a strong trend here right now. That being said, I am going to mark it for those of you who are interested in trading a continuation from here. I personally feel it's a bit too risky, but these setups aren't just what I'm personally going to trade. They're setups that follow my strategy. If I consider some of them a bit too risky, I'll still mark them for people who want to trade them. So we'll keep track of this one throughout the week. We'll see how it plays out. Like I said, I'm most likely not going to enter it myself. But if price stalls out on this resistance area, there is potential for a short continuation. Overall, price is, yeah, it's still kind of trending down. I mean, you could draw a trend line across here. It's trending down. It's below that 200 moving average. It hit the 200 moving average and started sloping down straight after. Yeah, it is. It's not a very strong bearish trend, but it is in a bearish trend. So let's keep an eye on this one too. Euro AUD, nothing much going on there. Euro CAD, nothing much there, just moving sideways. EURJPY, nothing much. EURJPY. This one is currently reversing. Is anyone long in this? Yeah, you could enter right now and still get a decent setup. I don't like this setup, to be completely honest. Yeah, I don't like this setup. First of all, there's some pretty big resistance here. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything here. My bad. I think I was missing a support resistance area. There's no reason for that one not to be on my chart. I don't know why it wasn't there. Maybe it got accidentally deleted, so there's nothing going on here. Never mind. Nothing on Euro New Zealand, nothing on Euro USD. I mean, that being said, Euro USD is back in its range. It's just that this is such a messy range that it's kind of hard to trade in it. Just to give you a little insight into what I feel is happening here. With ranges, you'll notice that when price falls into a range in a financial market, mostly Forex, but pretty much all financial markets, it'll range between two levels. This level and this level in this case. Then sometimes it's going to break out of that range like it did here and like it did here. But very quickly, and actually here too, very quickly after breaking out, it gets sucked back into that range and then it sticks to those boundaries again. Ranges are kind of like vacuums. When price breaks out of it, it gets sucked back in pretty quickly and the range continues. So just because price falls out of a range briefly, it doesn't really mean that the range is broken or that the range is over and that you shouldn't be trading the range still. You can still trade the range because it's still active. Just because price breaks out of it doesn't mean the range is over. It happens. Price breaks out and then gets sucked back in and then things just continue as normal with that range. That being said, with Euro USD specifically, this range clearly exists. We can clearly see this range in front of us. It's sticking to these two boundaries pretty well, but it is just such a messy range. It is very, very messy and very difficult to trade. Maybe if we were to go up to like the 3-day chart, things will clear up. Maybe not. Not even the 3-day. Maybe the 1-week chart. No, nothing. Nothing clears up this range. It's just a complete and utter mess. So to summarize, you could enter in long here from the bottom of this range. There is a potential long setup, but it is just way too risky in my opinion. There are a lot of points where this could snag here, all through there, and if you look further to the left, you could see how long it took to get through here. Nah, I'm just not going to do anything with this. I mean, if you want to, I'm going to mark it as a potential for those of you who are interested in it, but I'm just not going to do anything. I'm not even going to mention this one in the summary because it's just not really worth it. Let's take a look at that. All right, so you went in long from there. Still looks like it's sloping down though. I don't really trade monthly charts. Yeah, I mean, fair enough. I'm just not really a monthly chart trader. Nor a weekly chart trader. Although my strategy does kind of work on weekly charts, it's just not for me really. GBPAUD is also in a range. This is not as clean of a range, but you could see it on the 8 hour. And on the 6 hour. Like the lower time frames essentially is what I'm trying to say. You can see it more clearly on the lower time frames. On the daily, it condenses things a bit too much where you can't really see this range that well. But then if you drop down to, let's say, the 8 hour, you can see we got one bounce from the top, was pretty long to get down. Bounce from the bottom, bounce from the top, another bounce from the top, a bounce from the bottom, and now it's currently bouncing from the top. It's not a clean range, it's not an easy range, but I'm still looking at this one as a potential. Loads of ranges, that's pretty good. I love ranges. It's the easiest profit you can make is trading ranges. Let's look for what happens when price drops down to this support area down here for a potential long trade from this support area, a long reversal at the bottom of that range. GBPJPY, yeah, I mean there is a potential long here, but it's too risky for my tastes. Yeah, nothing on GBPUSD. Nothing on New Zealand CAD, New Zealand CHF. That one's still going. If anyone's still short on that, I mean, at this point you may as well just keep holding. EURJPY, nothing much. New Zealand USD is still in its range. Loads of ranges, loads and loads of ranges. All right, so New Zealand USD is hitting the top of that range. If the range is a bit unclear, I'll switch to the 2-day. I don't trade the 2-day, but it just condenses things so you can kind of get a clearer picture of the range. I've said range a lot in this webinar. One bounce, two bounce from the top. From the bottom, we have one bounce and two bounces. Three bounces there, maybe. Anyway, the point is, it's hitting the top of this range. And yeah, it's hitting the top of this range, and it's good potential for a short trade here. Good potential for a short trade from the top of this range. Some decent opportunities so far today. USD CAD, nothing. USD CHF, not going to do anything there. USD JPY, right, there is a long trade here, but it's already open. I know at least 2 people are in on this already. I'm not sure if it was posted to the forum though. I'll mark it green, but I'm not in this personally. You're in. Cool. Well, that's, you make a third person then. Because I don't think... Oh, there we go. 4 people. There's a bunch of people in this one. Let's, I'm not in it, just to be clear. Let's mark it as an active, which is the green color. And I will keep track of it. US oil, let's forget about that for now. Silver and gold. Oops. Gold's hit the top of this resistance area and it's already fallen down quite fast. A bit late to enter there. Palladium, I'm not really trading this one at the moment. It is interesting. It is in a very steep uptrend because of a global shortage, as I've been told, but I'm not trading that right now. And I'm long on platinum, but this is a long-term trade, so it's pulled back a little bit, but that doesn't matter. It's a long-term trade. I plan to hold this for several weeks, so let's not worry too much about that. All right, let's filter out these. We'll just do a quick summary here. We got AUDCAD heading to resistance for a potential short. We got AUDJPY, which is in a nice range, headed to resistance, potential short at the top of that resistance area. We got CADJPY. This one I'm not going to trade, but I'm marking it for people who want to. It is in a downtrend. It's not that great of a downtrend, so there is a potential continuation trade there from this resistance area. We got EURJPY. Again, this is one I'm not going to trade myself. I consider it too risky, but you know, if you want to trade it, there's a potential long that's going to trigger soon, possibly. GBPAUD, lower time frame range. It's heading towards the bottom of this range. Potential long from the bottom of that range. New Zealand USD, back to the daily. We have price stalling out on resistance, so that could give us a nice short trade tomorrow. Although the thing with New Zealand USD is that to get to our target, it's probably going to take quite some time, because look how sideways it moves throughout this area here. So don't expect this to be a quick one. And for opens, we have USDJPY, which is already triggered and pushing up. So that wraps things up for the analysis, guys. Are there any questions? Oh, you were in too, Rohit. Everyone's in. Watch out for price snagging in this area if it gets stalled out a little bit. And this area. But I'm hoping it just pushes up at least to the resistance created by this 200 moving average. All right, doesn't look like there's any questions, so I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you guys for attending, and I'm going to see you for tomorrow's analysis, which is a members only, which means it won't get posted publicly to YouTube. Members only analysis, 10 a.m. tomorrow, and then 10 a.m. Thursday we'll have another public analysis. So thank you guys for attending, and I'll see you tomorrow.